Bringing the power back in. Woo! All right, guys, welcome back to Motion RC. We are gonna do a flight on the F-5N Tiger II, the high performance version. So this has that 1857 kV brushless in-runner in an 80mm fan, 12 blade, and this will be my 4th flight on her. So we're not calling this a flight review by any means. I am not there yet as far as amount of flights, but this model's been around for so long that I think there's more than enough video on the F5, but we just want to show how great it is because I've been having so much fun. Those first 3 flights have been awesome. So let's start with the flight, then we'll land it and we'll talk about it. Here we go. Alex, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Take it off. Right to left. Look at the speed. Get that gear right up. And she is off. So now I'm back at half throttle. Now I have the Admiral 6-channel Stability Plus gyro. You guys saw me set that up on our live video. One of the live videos, I think it was episode 3 now. And it really works well in this. I've been digging it because it is pretty windy, but check out the speed. Gonna go vertical. And I'm gonna come back across our face, but vertical for days. Power off. Bringing the power back in. Woo! Let's bring it in as higher than you could see. Let's put it that way. You'll lose sight of it. Somebody asked me about my altitude. But guys, look at this, another speed pass. Turn it and burn it. Beautiful. So I have right now, I set it up absolutely by the book as far as where the elevator is set on standard and the rates. And I'll tell you, I took off. I was used to flying the F-35 and the Mirage, similar type of aircraft as far as that delta wing. And I like really low rate on the Aileron, so I figured I'm gonna like the low rate on the F5, but I noticed low rate Aileron, whew, where the book is, just wasn't enough for me. It wouldn't roll fast enough and turn fast enough. So I am at the book high rates, and to me that feels like what my low rates are when I do my F-35 and my Mirage, similar type aircraft. So I think you guys are gonna like the book high rate Aileron, and I've been high rate elevator the entire time. I don't even wanna mess with it. I actually put in no trim on this either. Setting it up out of the book was really nice. So now I'm gonna go half flaps. Now the one thing, guys, again, the reason this isn't a flight review, I'm not perfect with slow flight by any means. I just wanna show you if I can fly it. Anybody can, and you can rip this sucker, but I am now power about 25%, and that is half flaps. She will fly slow, and then she has the boogie to get up and out if you need her to. So she lands really well. But smaller tires, she's definitely not gonna be a grass bird for anybody. You're gonna want a paved runway for this when you do it. Now I'm gonna come vertical in the middle of the field, Alex. Pouring on the coals. For days. I've been having so much fun I can't even talk. Let's go into a big loop. Okay, my timer, that's my timer. So I set a 3-minute timer. I'm gonna glide it, I'm dropping gear, and we're gonna come in for a landing. So now I am half flaps. I'm at 50% throttle on the down leg. Now I'm gonna bring my speed lower a little bit, about 25%. I did not want to turn the power off on this, unlike I was just flying the T-33 earlier today and got so used to landing that. There she is. And look at her sit. Love it. And I want to scrape my wingtip, so I'll roll off the end of the runway. I can't stop myself from rolling off the end of the runway. But guys, she is super fun. I'll probably show you another flight after we check the battery on her and talk about it. So let's do that. Nice, you there? Well, let's check the battery live on camera. You still rolling?
I'm still rolling.
He's still rolling. I brought the checker.
Did you? Liar.
I'm
Liar.
I'm an absolute liar when it comes to that stuff.
I have the checker. No, I don't.
I do this every time. All right, I got my checker.
You need a fanny pack.
I know, right? Here we go. So I was flying it on the 5000 Admiral. When this model came out, I don't even know if the 5000 existed yet. So the book calls for a 4000, but the Hobby Squawk, RC groups are all saying guys are flying it on their 5000s, and there's a lot of love for this aircraft, even as it was as a classic model, but now with the new system. Whew! So let's check it, 5000, and I'm at 15%, 3.7. So I had my timer set for 3 minutes of useful throttle time, but I did what, one slow pass? I was mostly half throttle, full throttle, I think.
You were booking it.
I was booking it. Where this jet shines is booking it. I don't care about trying to extend the life on this. If I want longer life, buy an Avanti or a T33 or an L39. But this bad boy is all about speed. So let's talk about it.
Woof.
So guys, you just saw me put a flight in on the F5. As I said, that was only my 4th flight ever on this bad boy today, and they were pretty rapid in succession. And I just want to show you guys what speed on this model with the new high performance. So this is the high performance F-5N. And again, as you might have saw in the build video or in our live video, I spoke about this model, I believe was released in 2014. So it's about 6 years old. As far as the build goes, it's a little more tedious than your newer Freewing models. Like you have to glue in your retracts yourself. Things like that. It is a 2-part fuselage, and they don't have the nice ribbon cable, so it's a little more work just routing the wires through the trough and covering it down here. But nothing that's a guy who is into jets. If you've done this before, it's nothing that's going to deter you at all, and I really love it. This was one of the last models from, as far as Freewing goes, one of the last few that I've yet to fly. And I was so excited to see that it had come out in the high performance, and it was, my time to get it and take it around to shows and do videos and things like that. So this was really exciting. I didn't know what to expect as far as the flight, but upon my maiden, the only thing that was troubling was at first landing. I again didn't know how slow I needed to be, but I realized that gliding it is not what it wants to do. She wants power in the landing, at least on the first 4 I did, and from what I can see and I've read on Hobby Squawk is, bring her in with a little bit of speed and you'll be all good. But now as far as the setup goes, I have her set up by the book. So if you want to see the let's look at the ailerons first. So these are the high rates, and this is how I prefer to fly it. That is 18 millimeters of deflection both ways, as the book called. And I initially went with the low rate, which is here. So if you see the ailerons there, I was thinking just from flying other Delta type jets, longer fuselages with the shorter wingspans, that I thought, I'm going to want the low rate ailerons. But I took off this way, or flew the first flight, the maiden, and when I was trying to do rolls, it was a slow roll, and I was really turning. So I went right to the high rates, thinking it was going to be a drill bit, which is what I didn't want. But I found that it's nice and smooth right at 18. So if you want even more performance, you could probably go higher than that. You could probably go to 20, 22 millimeter of deflection and get even more. As far as the elevator went, that's the low rate elevator setting. I'll turn this sideways. So first things first, I set it up as the book shows. Your elevator, the middle of your elevator should be in line with the corner of that trough for the servo, if you can see that. So that is set up perfectly as the book stated. And then when I deflect, that is low and that is high. So low comes to, I forget what it is by the book, we could see it later, but I stayed in high the entire time. I'd rather the high rates, and I'm thinking for guys that want a high alpha, because it is a Delta type bird with all that power, if you went down to maybe a 4,000 milliamp battery to really lighten it up and got way more deflection in those full flying stabs, the guys who like to do the high alpha, I think this thing will have no problem. And I'm sure there's probably videos of guys high alphaing this somewhere. But again, So that was how I set it up. As far as CG goes, I was flying on the 5000 Admiral battery, and I have it pushed back. I put the Admiral gyro in there, so I just pushed it right up against the back part of the receiver. But I'll measure that another time. I can't do it here. But that's where I'm getting CG on the 5000, or a little nose heavy, I should say. I wasn't hitting perfect CG based on where the book goes. Book shows CG. It's funny, they make it measure all the way from the nozzle, but the CG's right in between this bar and the plate that you glue on for your to hide your wires. So CG's right in the middle there. But guys, other than that, what a beautiful bird. She comes out of the box all decaled up. There's 2 versions, but right now only the Sundowners VFC 111 is in the high performance version. But again, this is the 1857 kV in-runner motor with the 12 blade fan, and what whoosh on her when she passes by. I love the speed, and again, as I always say, if I can fly it at this point, I mean, I'm not the worst pilot in the world, but I'm certainly not the best. Anybody should be able to fly it. Once you're comfortable with a jet like a T-33 or an L-39 or the Avanti, and you want speed, take a look at the F-5, man. It's well worth it. It's a beautiful classic model, and I'm so glad it's still around and I got a chance to fly it. But I will say, I don't even think I'd attempt taking it off on grass with the smaller. She's got a low setting, even though she has great suspension. Just those tires are a little small. So I think she's a pavement bird. But I think that'll do it, Alex. Good for you.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this flight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly it more over the next couple of weeks, and I'll come back with maybe a proper flight review, but I also want to get it in Patrick's hands because he really knows aircraft. He's a real pilot, so he knows aircraft a lot better than me, guys. But I hope you had some fun here with the F5. If you have one already, think about that upgraded system, and if you don't have an F5 and didn't even know it existed, here she is. She's absolutely gorgeous. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining. Jump into Hobby Squawk. You can talk about the F5 or anything else. Be sure to tune into our new live show happening every Friday at noon on YouTube, and like, share, and subscribe. Alex, thank you for filming. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC.